Hello, I am Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is November 28, 2017, 1:13 a.m., Birmingham. Topic is, since I've been on this DNA, NEPHILIM DNA, and so forth, let me tell you perhaps precisely where it came from and who it came from when they came across from the world before the flood and the world after the flood. And that's in Genesis, and starting in chapter 10, the generations of Noah's sons, Japheth, Ham, and Shem. Now, Ham, his wife, was the one that had the DNA of the watcher angels. She's the one. And if you go back and look at who passes the DNA, it is the woman who has the, if a Gentile man marries a Jewish woman, her children are Jewish. So here's what it is. Noah's son, Ham, he begat Cush. Cush, one of his sons, was Nimrod. Now, he was the one, Nimrod was the one that was beginning to change into a Gibborim, a giant. He had already had his cloven feet were beginning to change, and he was growing into a true giant, an ugly, an evil giant. So the amount of DNA that was in him opposed to others later really didn't matter. Something else took place for him to be the one to change. He was the king of the world at that time. But keep in mind, it is the women who passes on that DNA. So if you keep going on down the line, you will see that Goliath had part of the same DNA that Nimrod had, Goliath and his brothers. But let me say this, at Cush, there's a difference. At Cush, he was Gentile. He wasn't what became or would end up being Jewish. He was Gentile. And as far as that goes, Noah, no one can say that he was Jewish or Gentile, but it was his lineage going down, say, the right side of him that ended up with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's where Jesus came from. The others, Cush, Ham, Noah's son, and Nimrod, they were Gentiles. So the DNA from the giants, where the Bible says there were giants in those days of the flood, and repeat, and after. People don't get that. People don't understand that. And after the flood, the giants remained, but not in the bulk, in the numbers as there were prior to the flood. And they slowly died off. Now, the giants that are seen today, they're not offspring of anything today. The giants you see today have been here for a long time. Look, angels don't die. They're placed by God, like 4 in the river Euphrates. There's a huge number of them in certain parts of Hades, and one is considered Antarctica, under the ice. There's a lot of them there. And again, I mentioned the other day, why in the world would man and those under the ice have anything to do with building armies or assembly lines of just men who would come out and destroy? Well, they wouldn't. And why the talk is that they are, I think, is very misleading. They don't have the need to. Who are they going to fight? Because the giants and then all the evil that's going to, well, there'll be enough evil here. Satan is running loose in the final 7 years. The 4 out of your river Euphrates, and then you have the fallen stars, which are angels. These people, these angels, they're going to kill a lot of people. And so I'm going to end that right there and tell you something else. And I have to do more about this one a little bit later. Last Wednesday, and I mean really last Wednesday, November the 22nd, was a day when prophecy was fulfilled. That very day. Remember, who is it in Ezekiel 38:39 that comes against Israel? It is the king. It's the north, not the kings of the east. It is the north. It is Turkey. They're dead north of Israel. Last Wednesday, on November 22, there was a first time ever in history meeting in Russia with Putin, with the Ayatollah, with the head honcho in Iran, and with Erdogan in Turkey. These are the 3 that enters into the Ezekiel 38 and 39 war. And when they come, no one is there to protect them. And to say that God's fury is thrown up in his face is a massive understatement. And I'm going to give you the exact words of that in another blog. But now, and I also said that I did not believe there would be a rapture of the church for at least the term of Trump, and perhaps 2 terms. I believe Trump will be here all of 4 years, and I don't know how much of the next 4. I believe that is a close proximity of the time when the literal words of all hell breaks loose. With a rapture, then America will not go stand with Israel in their time of need. And I believe that'll be the only thing that will prevent America from being there. So now you know who brought forth the DNA from before the flood. You know who Nimrod's father was, and his father was a son of Noah. And it was the wife of Ham. that the DNA crossed over with. Jody Wolf Expoz.